Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. In today's exciting video, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins in modern US history, the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This is not your average penny, and if you happen to have one sitting in your coin jar, you could be holding on to something worth a small fortune. The 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has a current market value of an incredible $72,932. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny that could change your life forever. Before we explore what makes this coin so rare and valuable, let's start with a bit of history. The year 1982 was a major turning point for the US Mint. It was the year they changed the composition of the Lincoln cent. Since 1909, Lincoln pennies had been made primarily from 95% copper and 5% zinc. But due to the rising cost of copper in the early 1980s, the Mint decided to switch to a cheaper composition. Starting in mid-1982, the penny was changed to 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. That means during this transition, both copper and zinc pennies were minted, and that's where things start to get interesting. In 1982, there were actually 7 different variations of the Lincoln penny produced. Some had the mint mark, D for Denver, some had none for Philadelphia, and they came in both large date and small date varieties, as well as in both copper and zinc compositions. So, coin collectors have to be very careful when identifying their 1982 pennies, because one small difference could mean the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth tens of thousands of dollars. Now, let's focus on the star of today's story, the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. This particular version was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place a mint mark on its coins at the time. However, what makes the 1982 no-mint mark penny so valuable is not just its lack of a mint mark. The real value lies in its composition and its date variety. During the transition from copper to zinc, the Mint struck some pennies using leftover copper planchets by mistake. These were not supposed to exist. But a few examples slipped through quality control and were released into circulation. These are known as transitional errors, coins that were minted on the wrong metal type. So imagine this. In 1982, while millions of pennies were being produced, a few copper blanks from the earlier batches accidentally got mixed with the new zinc ones. The result: the ultra-rare 1982 no-mint mark copper penny. And depending on whether yours is the large date or small date version, you could be sitting on a treasure. Now, how do you know if your 1982 penny is one of these rare gems? The first thing you'll want to do is check for the mint mark. If there's no mint mark under the date, you already have the Philadelphia version. Next, you'll want to determine whether it's a large date or a small date. In the large date version, the top of the 8 in 1982 sits higher than the 1 and 2. In the small date version, the 8 appears more level with the other digits, and the 2 has a curved base that looks different from the large date version. But here's the most important part: the metal composition test. The easiest way to find out if your penny is copper or zinc is to use a simple scale. A copper penny weighs about 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs around 2.5 grams. That small difference is what determines if your coin is common or extremely valuable. So, if your 1982 no-mint mark penny weighs 3.11 grams, it means it's made of copper, and that's when you should start getting excited. Now, let's talk about how this coin became so valuable. Back in 2017, one of these rare 1982 no-mint mark small date copper pennies was discovered and authenticated by coin grading experts. When it was auctioned, it stunned the numismatic world by fetching over $18,000. But since then, prices have soared even higher as collectors have become more aware of just how rare these transitional error coins are. Today, pristine, high-grade examples can reach values up to $72,932, depending on the condition and the market demand. Collectors are fascinated by coins like this because they tell a story of human error, history, and the evolution of American coinage. Each one of these rare pennies is a time capsule from the early 1980s, a reminder of the days when the US Mint was making one of its biggest composition changes in history. Now, if you're wondering how to tell if your penny could be worth this kind of money, here's what to do. First, go through your 1982 pennies carefully under good lighting. Check for the absence of a mint mark under the date. If there's no D, you're looking at a Philadelphia coin. Then check the style of the date. Is it large or small? And finally, weigh the coin. If it's 3.11 grams, you might just have struck gold, or rather, copper treasure. To get your coin professionally evaluated, you can send it to one of the top coin grading services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. They will authenticate the coin, confirm its metal content, and assign it a grade based on its condition. Higher grades, such as mint state, MS65 or higher, command much higher prices at auction. So why do collectors pay such astronomical prices for a penny? It all comes down to rarity and error type. Transitional errors like the 1982 no mint mark copper penny are among the most prized discoveries in coin collecting because they represent a moment of change at the US Mint. Only a few are known to exist, and their rarity drives collectors to bid tens of thousands of dollars to own one. The fascinating thing about the 1982 no mint mark penny is that it could still be out there, waiting to be discovered. Many people have no idea what to look for, and millions of pennies from that era are still in circulation, tucked away in jars, drawers, and old boxes. You could find one in your pocket change, in a collection inherited from a relative, or even in a random coin roll from the bank. Another important detail to know is that the condition of your coin greatly affects its value. Even if you find a 1982 no mint mark copper penny, the price will vary depending on how well it has been preserved. A heavily circulated coin may only fetch a few $100s, but a mint state, uncirculated example can reach into the tens of thousands. Coins with sharp details, clean surfaces, and strong strikes are always worth more. Coin collectors love to hunt for these small details, and that's part of the thrill. The 1982 penny series offers multiple varieties to collect: large date, small date, copper, zinc, with and without mint marks, creating endless possibilities for discovery. And that's why the 1982 no mint mark penny has become legendary among collectors. Let's also talk briefly about how you can protect your coins. If you believe you have a rare penny, avoid cleaning or polishing it. Cleaning can actually reduce the value significantly, as it changes the coin's surface and leaves scratches that experts can easily spot. Instead, store your coins in protective holders or coin flips, and handle them only by the edges to preserve their original condition. Now, imagine finding a penny worth over $72,000. What would you do? Many people have shared stories of finding rare coins in the most unexpected places. From coin jars that have been sitting untouched for decades to change received at the grocery store, these discoveries remind us that hidden treasures can appear anywhere. The story of the 1982 no mint mark penny continues to inspire collectors and treasure hunters alike. It's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable things come in the smallest packages. That 1 cent could be worth more than a luxury car, more than a year's salary, and all it takes is a keen eye and a little bit of knowledge. Let's not forget, the legacy of Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the penny has been with us since 1909, marking over a century of American history. And within that long story, coins like the 1982 no mint mark copper penny stand out as milestones, not just for their value, but for what they represent in the evolution of U.S. currency. Collectors today continue to search for these rare transitional coins, and every few years, another example surfaces, reigniting excitement in the numismatic world. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this coin is a perfect reminder to always check your change. If you want to start searching, gather your 1982 pennies, get a small digital scale, and take your time examining them. You never know what you might uncover. Some collectors have even turned their hobby into a full-time passion, hunting through coin rolls, attending auctions, and joining online forums to share discoveries. Welcome to today's video, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Get ready, because in this video, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins ever discovered in American coin history, the 1992 no mint mark Lincoln 1 cent penny. This tiny copper-colored coin, something most people would overlook or spend without a second thought, has become a legendary collectible in the numismatic world, with a current market value reaching up to $63,593. That's right, a single penny, worth less than $1, could actually be worth more than a luxury car or even a down payment on a house. Now, let's take a closer look at what makes the 1992 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so incredibly special, how it came to be, and why collectors all over the world are still searching for one today. Stick around to the end because we'll cover the full story, the design details, the errors that make it rare, and how you can identify one of these valuable coins right in your pocket change. The 1992 Lincoln cent is part of the long-running Lincoln penny series, which began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse design features the iconic portrait of Lincoln, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, which has become one of the most recognized images on any U.S. coin. For over a century, this design has remained largely unchanged, symbolizing both American history and enduring legacy. However, in 1992, something unexpected happened at the U.S. Mint. A rare and remarkable error occurred. A small group of Lincoln cents were struck using a new obverse die paired with an older reverse die. What this means is that the front of the coin had been updated with new design details, but the back of the coin, the reverse, had not yet been fully transitioned to match the new look intended for future mintages. This mix-up led to what we now call the 1992 close AM variety, one of the most famous transitional errors in the entire Lincoln penny series. To understand this better, you need to know about the two main varieties of Lincoln cent reverses, the close AM and the wide AM. On the reverse side of the penny, the words United States of America appear along the top, and just below them, you'll see the phrase 1 cent. Right below the E in States is the word America, and the spacing between the letters A and M is what makes all the difference. On the 1992 close AM variety, these two letters are almost touching, while on the standard 1992 reverse, there's a noticeable gap between them. This small spacing difference might seem insignificant, but it's exactly what turned this ordinary penny into a collector's dream. The close AM reverse was intended for use beginning in 1993, but due to an error at the mint, a few dies with this new design were accidentally used to strike coins in 1992. Because of this, only a tiny number of these 1992 no-mint mark close AM pennies exist, making them extremely rare and valuable today. Let's talk about mint marks for a moment. Normally, Lincoln cents from 1992 were produced at three main U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins made in Philadelphia typically carry no mint mark, coins from Denver feature a D, and those from San Francisco are usually proof coins with an S mint mark. The coin we're discussing today, the 1992 no mint mark version, was struck in Philadelphia. But here's the catch: not all 1992 Philadelphia pennies are rare. Only those with the close AM reverse design are worth a fortune. Now let's dive into the numbers. The U.S. Mint produced over 4.6 billion Lincoln cents in 1992. That's billions with a B. Yet, only a handful of those are known to be the rare close AM variety. This means you're looking at a ratio of perhaps 1 in several million coins. It's like finding a single golden ticket in an ocean of copper. When one of these rare coins first surfaced, collectors couldn't believe their eyes. The discovery caused a huge buzz in the numismatic community, as experts and enthusiasts began scouring their coin jars, rolls, and collections, hoping to find another. Over the years, several examples have been authenticated and graded by professional coin grading services such as PCGS and NGC. High-grade examples, especially those in mint state condition, have fetched enormous prices at auction, some reaching as high as $63,593. The value of each coin depends on its condition, or grade, which ranges from circulated to uncirculated. Circulated coins show signs of wear from everyday use, while uncirculated coins look almost brand new, with their original luster intact. Collectors value high-grade coins the most, as they better preserve the fine details of the design. For the 1992 no-mint mark close AM penny, finding one in pristine condition is like striking gold. So how can you tell if you have one of these rare coins in your possession? First, take a close look at the back of your 1992 penny. You'll need good lighting and perhaps a magnifying glass. Focus on the word America. If the A and M are nearly touching, that's your first sign of the close AM variety. Then, check the front of the coin. Make sure there's no mint mark under the date. If there's no D or S, it's a Philadelphia coin, meaning it could be one of the valuable no mint mark varieties. Finally, look for sharp details and minimal wear to estimate its condition. Many collectors have found these coins tucked away in old penny jars, inherited collections, or even in pocket change. So it's definitely worth taking a second look at any 1992 pennies you might have lying around. Even if it's not the close AM variety, other Lincoln pennies from that era can also carry some value depending on their condition, errors, or unique die characteristics. Speaking of errors, coin errors and varieties are what make coin collecting so fascinating. Sometimes, a slight die change, an engraving modification, or even an accidental use of the wrong die can create a whole new collectible category. In the case of the 1992 close AM penny, this was a transition error. The mint was changing designs between years, and somehow, the wrong pair of dies got matched up. It's a rare glimpse into the minting process, and a reminder that even machines and experts can make mistakes. Mistakes that turn into treasures decades later. It's also worth noting that there's a 1992 D close AM penny as well, which is another valuable variety. However, the no mint mark version from Philadelphia remains the more famous of the two because of its extreme rarity and collector demand. Each year, coin hunters submit thousands of coins to grading services in hopes of discovering a hidden close AM treasure. Now, let's imagine finding one of these coins today. Picture yourself sorting through a roll of pennies from your local bank, when suddenly, you notice that tiny detail, the A and M, almost touching. Your heart skips a beat, you double-check, and then realize you're holding a piece of numismatic history. It's not just a penny anymore. It's a ticket to financial excitement, worth tens of thousands of dollars. The story of the 1992 no mint mark Lincoln penny also teaches us the importance of attention to detail. Something as simple as letter spacing, invisible to the untrained eye, can mean the difference between a 1-cent coin and one worth over $60,000. It's a powerful reminder that in coin collecting, knowledge truly is value. So why does this coin fetch such a high price today? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and condition. Collectors are always looking for unique and scarce varieties to complete their sets. The 1992 close AM penny represents a key transitional piece between the design changes of 1992 and 1993, making it a crucial find for serious Lincoln cent enthusiasts. With so few known examples, competition is fierce, and auction prices continue to climb. Recent sales have shown strong interest, especially for coins graded mint state 65 and higher. When a certified example hits the auction block, bidding wars often break out, pushing the final sale price higher and higher. Experts believe that as more people become aware of this variety, the value could continue to rise, particularly as fewer coins remain in undiscovered circulation. It's also an inspiring story for everyday people. Imagine turning something as common as a penny into life-changing money. This possibility keeps the thrill of coin hunting alive. Every year, more people start collecting coins, joining the growing community of enthusiasts who love exploring the history, art, and mystery behind these small but powerful pieces of metal. Abraham Lincoln himself, whose image graces the penny, might have appreciated the symbolism, that something small and seemingly insignificant could represent great worth, perseverance, and value. In the fascinating world of coin collecting, few coins have managed to capture the attention of collectors and investors quite like the 1994 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. What might look like an ordinary penny to most people is, in fact, one of the most surprising and valuable modern coins in circulation today. Believe it or not, some rare examples of this coin have been sold for staggering amounts, with the current market value reaching an incredible $82,937. So, if you have a jar full of pennies lying around or some spare change hidden away, you might be holding a small fortune without even realizing it. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1994 Lincoln penny. We'll explore how this coin came to be, what makes certain versions so valuable, the history of its design, and how you can identify one of these rare pieces that could completely change your life. Let's begin with a bit of background. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, has become the longest-running coin design in United States history. Over the decades, it has undergone several changes, but its legacy as a symbol of the American spirit remains strong. By 1994, the Lincoln penny had already been circulating for 85 years, and the Denver Mint was one of the main facilities producing these coins, identified by the small D mint mark under the date on the obverse side. Now, here's where things get interesting. Although billions of 1994 pennies were produced, not all of them are equal. Most are worth just 1 cent, of course, but a very small number were struck with errors or under special conditions that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. Some of these coins were struck on different planchets, had doubled dies, or showed unusual minting characteristics that turned them into prized possessions in the numismatic world. To understand why some 1994 pennies are worth thousands, it's important to know how errors occur during the minting process. Every coin goes through a precise and automated system, but even the most advanced machines can make mistakes. When dies strike the coin off-center, or when there's a misalignment, the results can vary, sometimes creating a truly unique piece. These minting errors are like fingerprints. No two are ever exactly the same, and that's what makes them so special. Collectors look for several key varieties of the 1994 Lincoln penny that can dramatically raise its value. One of the most desirable types is the doubled die variety, where the image or the lettering appears to be slightly doubled due to a die misalignment during the minting process. When this doubling occurs on the obverse side, especially on Lincoln's eye, lips, or the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust, the coin's value can skyrocket. Another major factor that influences a coin's worth is its condition, known in the coin collecting world as its grade. The grading scale, established by the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) and the Numismatic Guarantee Company (NGC), ranges from Pro 1 to Mint State 70. A 1994 penny in average circulated condition might be worth only a few cents, but if yours is in mint state condition, with a bright, original red copper luster and no visible marks, it could be worth thousands. The finest known examples graded MS-68 or higher have fetched prices nearing $83,000 in auctions, making this humble coin a hidden treasure. Let's talk about how to identify if your 1994 penny could be valuable. Start by carefully examining the date and mint mark under good lighting. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to look closely for any doubling in the letters or numbers. Next, inspect the color and surface of the coin. If it has a bright, red luster and appears nearly flawless, that's a great sign. Be cautious not to clean the coin, as cleaning can drastically reduce its value. Collectors prefer coins that have their original surfaces, even if they have minor discoloration. Another factor to watch for is strike quality. The Denver Mint typically produced well-struck coins, but occasionally, weak strikes occurred, especially near the edges of the coin. A weakly struck penny might show less detail in Lincoln's hair or the lettering, and while this can sometimes decrease value, unique weak strikes caused by specific die conditions can actually become collectible. Now, you might be wondering how a 1-cent coin from the 1990s can be worth tens of thousands of dollars today. The answer lies in rarity, condition, and collector demand. The 1994 penny in mint state red condition is extremely scarce. Most pennies from that era have been heavily circulated, meaning they've been scratched, worn down, and discolored from years of use. Finding one that has survived for over 30 years in pristine condition is a challenge, and that's what drives its value into the tens of thousands. In fact, at major coin auctions, collectors compete fiercely for coins that combine high grade and visual appeal. One such 1994 Lincoln penny graded MS-68 red was sold for an astounding $82,937. This price shocked many in the numismatic community, proving that even modern coins can be as valuable as historical gold pieces if the right conditions are met. The Lincoln Cents design also plays a role in its charm. The obverse, featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, remains one of the most beloved designs in American coinage. The reverse design in 1994 still displayed the Lincoln Memorial, which was first introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely at the back of the coin, you can even see a tiny image of the Lincoln statue inside the memorial, a small detail that showcases the precision of American engraving. When it comes to materials, the 1994 Lincoln penny was made of copper-plated zinc, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. This composition replaced the nearly pure copper pennies of earlier years due to rising metal costs. While these newer pennies might not have the same intrinsic metal value, their rarity and pristine condition still makes them highly collectible. Now, let's touch on some tips for preserving and storing valuable pennies. If you think you have a rare or high-grade 1994 penny, never handle it with bare fingers. The oils from your skin can leave permanent marks on the surface. Instead, use cotton gloves or hold the coin by its edges. Store it in an acid-free coin flip or an airtight capsule to protect it from air and moisture. Proper storage can preserve the coin's brilliant red color, which is crucial for maintaining its top-tier grade and value. For those looking to sell or appraise their coins, it's important to get a professional evaluation. Services like PCGS and NGC offer expert grading and encapsulation, also known as slabbing, which certifies the coin's authenticity and condition. Coins that are professionally graded often sell for much higher prices than ungraded ones because buyers trust the certification. It's also fascinating to think about the historical context of the 1994 Lincoln penny. The early 1990s were a transitional period for the U.S. Mint, as they were improving coin production technologies and refining quality control processes. Yet, even with modern equipment, errors and variations still occurred, which now provide collectors with an exciting array of valuable pieces to hunt for. If you happen to find a 1994 penny in your possession, take a moment to appreciate its journey. It could have been part of everyday transactions decades ago, buying a soda, a newspaper, or a pack of gum, only to now be recognized as a rare and precious collector's item. That's part of what makes coin collecting so fascinating. It connects history, art, and everyday life in a single, tangible object. As more people become aware of the value hidden in their loose change, the market for rare pennies continues to grow. Every year, stories surface about ordinary people discovering rare coins worth small fortunes, sometimes right in their own homes. The 1994 Lincoln penny is one of those coins that remind us to look a little closer before dismissing something as ordinary. The next time you're sorting through coins or paying with cash, take an extra second to check the date and mint mark on each penny. Who knows, you might spot that tiny D under the year 1994 and realize you're holding something extraordinary. In conclusion, the 1994 Lincoln 1-cent penny stands as a shining example of how modern coins can carry incredible value. Its rarity and high-grade condition, combined with the historical and artistic significance of the Lincoln Cent series, makes it a true gem among American coins. With a current market value reaching up to $82,937, this coin proves that even the smallest piece of change can hold immense worth. In this video, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins ever minted in the United States, the 1974 Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. You might think a simple penny couldn't possibly be worth much, but you'll be surprised to learn that this particular coin has shocked collectors, historians, and investors around the world with its extraordinary rarity, incredible minting story, and its jaw-dropping market value of $78,000. Yes, that's right, a 1-cent coin, worth up to $78,000 today. So make sure you watch this video till the very end, because what you're about to learn could literally make you look at your pocket change in a whole new way. Let's start by going back in time to understand the history behind the 1974 Lincoln penny. The year 1974 was an interesting one for the U.S. Mint. It was a time of economic challenges and material experimentation. The United States Mint had been exploring ways to reduce coin production costs because the price of copper was climbing rapidly. Each penny was made primarily of copper, and when copper prices increased, it cost nearly as much to make the penny as the coin's face value itself. So, the mint began experimenting with different metal compositions, including aluminum and bronze, to find a cheaper yet durable material for producing pennies. During this period, pennies were minted at 3 major facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The San Francisco Mint, identified by the S Mint mark, was primarily focused on creating proof coins, high-quality strikes meant for collectors, not for general circulation. These proof coins were struck multiple times under controlled conditions, giving them a mirror-like finish and sharp detail that made them stand out from regular coins. However, the 1974 S penny isn't just special because it came from the San Francisco Mint, it's special because of its composition, striking quality, and the rare variations that make certain examples extremely valuable today. Now, let's talk about the metal composition. Most 1974 S pennies were made of a 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy. However, during the experimental phase, a small number of test coins were produced using aluminum. These aluminum pennies were never officially released into circulation, and most of them were supposed to be destroyed. But a few somehow survived, and when discovered, they became incredibly sought after. The 1974 aluminum penny has been a source of great mystery and legal battles between collectors and the U.S. government. While the official stance of the Mint is that these coins were never meant for public ownership, the surviving examples that exist today are among the most talked about and valuable coins in U.S. history. When it comes to the 1974 S Lincoln penny made of copper, collectors pay close attention to several factors: condition, mint mark, and errors. A standard proof 1974 S penny in pristine condition might sell for a few dollars, but when you start getting into the ultra-rare varieties or coins with unique errors, the price can skyrocket. Some coins show doubling on the date or lettering, known as a double die error. Others may have unusual die cracks, missing mint marks, or proof strikes that were mistakenly made on business strike planchets. These kinds of anomalies make the 1974 S penny not just a coin but a collector's dream. Now, let's discuss how a 1974 S Lincoln penny could reach a market value of $78,000. That level of value usually applies to coins that are in perfect proof condition, graded PR70 by the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Company. These grading organizations evaluate coins based on luster, surface preservation, strike quality, and overall eye appeal. The closer a coin is to perfect condition, the higher its grade, and the higher its market value. A flawless 1974 S penny with deep cameo contrast and no visible imperfections can easily fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. In one notable case, collectors competed fiercely for such a coin, driving its price to nearly $78,000, setting a record for that year and mint mark combination. But why would someone pay so much for a penny? The answer lies in the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins. Coin collectors don't just see pennies as pieces of metal, they see them as pieces of history, art, and legacy. The 1974 S Lincoln penny represents an era of transition, innovation, and experimentation at the U.S. Mint. It reflects the nation's economic challenges, technological advancements in minting, and the enduring symbolism of Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait has graced the penny since 1909. Speaking of Lincoln, the obverse design of the 1974 S penny features his bust, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has remained largely unchanged for decades, serving as a tribute to the 16th President of the United States. On the reverse, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. This design was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, replacing the earlier wheat ears design. What makes the proof strike of the 1974 S penny so remarkable is the mirror-like shine on the fields and the frosted, sharp details on Lincoln's bust and the lettering. When examined under light, the contrast between the two finishes gives the coin a stunning, almost three-dimensional appearance that collectors love. It's also important to understand that the value of the 1974's penny depends heavily on how well it has been preserved. Coins that have never been handled, scratched, or exposed to air for long periods maintain their original luster. Proof coins stored carefully in their original mint packaging are far more valuable than those that have been removed and touched. Even a single fingerprint can reduce a coin's grade and market value significantly. Now, let's talk about varieties and errors that make certain 1974's pennies unique. One of the most popular varieties is the 1974's doubled die obverse. On this coin, you can see doubling on the date, or the lettering in the words, Liberty, or In God We Trust. These doubling effects occur when the die used to strike the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process. Another variety includes repunched mint marks, where the S appears to have been stamped more than once. Such small but fascinating differences can make a massive impact on a coin's rarity and value. Some 1974's proof pennies also exhibit cameo or deep cameo finishes. A cameo proof has frosted raised designs and mirror-like backgrounds, while a deep cameo has an even stronger contrast. Deep cameo proofs are especially rare and highly desirable. Coins with this kind of finish can sell for thousands of dollars, even without any major errors. For anyone interested in collecting or investing in Lincoln pennies, it's crucial to know how to identify and preserve valuable coins. Always handle coins by their edges and avoid cleaning them, as improper cleaning can ruin their surfaces and dramatically decrease their value. Store them in airtight holders or capsules designed for proof coins. Keeping them in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight also helps prevent oxidation or discoloration. Now, let's explore the market trends for the 1974's Lincoln penny. Over the past few decades, demand for rare Lincoln pennies has skyrocketed. Collectors all around the world continue to chase the best examples, especially proof strikes from the San Francisco Mint. With the combination of historical significance, scarcity, and immaculate condition, prices for these coins continue to climb. Many numismatists consider high-grade 1974's pennies a smart long-term investment. Auction records show that coins with exceptional grades or unique errors consistently sell for premium prices. For example, proof 1974's pennies graded PR70 Deep Cameo by PCGS or NGC have fetched anywhere from $10,000 to $78,000, depending on market demand and the intensity of bidding. These coins often appear in prestigious coin auctions and are showcased as highlight pieces in major collections. Another interesting aspect is how the 1974's penny connects to the broader history of the Lincoln Cent series. The 1970s represented a period of change for U.S. coinage, both in design and material composition. The Mint was modernizing its production facilities, experimenting with new alloys, and improving proof quality for collectors. The 1974's penny stands as a symbol of that progress, a bridge between the classic copper cents of the past and the modern zinc-based coins that would emerge just a decade later in 1982. If you're lucky enough to find a 1974's penny in your collection, take a close look at it. Check for its mirror finish, inspect the mint mark carefully, and see if there are any signs of doubling or other unusual features. If you believe your coin might be special, consider getting it professionally graded. The cost of grading is often worth it, as certified coins usually sell for much more than ungraded ones.